I just put them in groups of 2 or 3, mostly 3s, and presented the problem. They got 4 minutes to do the problem individually, 4 minutes to share in a group. I put the next part of the problem, 4 minutes individually, 4 minutes as a group, till we got through all 6 problems. And the next day, they've made a poster and shared with the whole group.
Did you get done with the whole problem in one day?
Yes, except for that very last one that I added. I added the last question of which one would you choose and why.
Okay.
That one we had to add to the second day, but the rest when we got through, yes. Because I had to divide out how many minutes they could be in each section.
I did it that same way. So what did you do?
I did it in my rotations in my small group. There were 6 in a group. I split them up 3 and 3. So they had about 20 minutes, and they got through the visual part almost to the equation part. We'll finish up tomorrow with that. I don't know if we're gonna make a poster yet.
Have they done their truth statements yet?
Did they do the
They
truth
got,
and patterns?
About half of them got to the truths, the other half did not. So truths and equation tomorrow. I think I'll be done with that. I don't want to do posters with it. I want to move.
Those truth statements and the equation were the hardest 2 parts for them.
Definitely.
And the ones who did bar graphs, they were struggling on that too, really, for mine.
Mine that did bar graphs, they weren't accurate.
By the time I got to 5th, I was doing the 4 minutes alone, 4 minutes together.
Why'd you switch off?
I really think they needed some alone think time first to get to own their ideas as an individual before they started sharing with each other. Because you know how we tend to take on the other guy's idea and go with that rather than have your own. So I think that did help.
They needed that time.
Yeah, they did.
I told all my groups to do it alone and then discuss after.
All right, you have $10 to spend on chocolate, but the store only has Hershey bars, which cost $2 each, and Tootsie Rolls, which cost $1 each. How many ways can you spend all of your money without getting any change back? Meaning you have to spend all the money. Let me just add a little something that's not written there. Pretend there's no tax. Kind of like you're going to a concession stand, okay? Just straight money for money, okay? So let me read it one more time. You have $10 to spend on chocolate, but the store only has Hershey bars, which cost $2 each, and Tootsie Rolls, which cost $1 each. How many ways can you spend all of your money without getting change back? Go ahead. This is your minutes by yourself. Write whatever work you need to write down. You don't just have to write the answer to the question. You scratch whatever you need on your paper. All right, 5 minutes together on this question. Talk to each other about what ways you have. Don't erase what you have, but maybe once you hear other people's ideas, you might want to write something else down. Discuss your ways.
Hershey bars or what? 2 Hershey bars. 2 Hershey bars and 5 Tootsie Rolls.
Don't erase anything.
That's
Just
big.
keep writing. Add to what you
Or
have.
2 Hershey bars and be like equal 10. So that'd be like getting 2 Hershey bars. Okay, what's your other way? 2 times 4, which is 8.
Good guys, keep going.
Plus 1, so you buy 2 Hershey. I got Hershey bars. $2. What you got? Good. I like that. Good job.
I got
My first way was
you could get 2 Hershey bars, and then like you could get you can get 5 Hershey bars, and that way all your money, like you won't have no money left. And or either you could get 4 Hershey bars and then get 2 Tootsie Rolls. That way you won't have no money left. Or either you can just get 6 Tootsie Rolls, 2 Hershey bars, and 2 more Tootsie Rolls, and then you won't have no money left. Or either you could just, or either you could just get that.
What's that? What are all those?
Or either you could just get 10 Tootsie Rolls.
Why don't you write that out in words so that you'll remember next time what each one of those means? You want to label those?
Okay,
Tootsie
what
Roll.
was your
That way
other
you
one?
remember
You
next
could get
time.
5 Hershey bars. 5 Hershey bars?
That's what I did.
Times 2. No, that confused me a little bit.
So right here, what you get? What? 1 Hershey bar?
No, that'd be 10
10.
Tootsie Rolls.
10 Tootsie Rolls.
And that would
Times
be
How we getting here?
8 Tootsie Rolls.
What about
10. 2 plus 8, 1.
Oh,
I had to think about that.
I
too.
thought you said 9.
Yeah. What about
You can use 0 too.
yeah?
0 Hershey's and 10 Tootsie Rolls.
And then split it. That's what I done. What about 5?
And then you'd have 0 Tootsie Rolls.
Hey, now I messed up.
Or if you had 5 Tootsie Rolls, you wouldn't be able to do it.
What do you mean?
If you had 5 Tootsie Rolls, that equal
10. Oh.
5, and then there wouldn't be no way to go
Can we
into
use 6 in any way?
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use 6 Tootsie Rolls and 2 Hershey bars.
Oh. I didn't have that one down. I don't know. What about? They could at least give us $20. That'd be. I think we could have done more for $20 than 10. Can't use 7.
4, 5, 0, 3, 1.
Okay, for step 1, we had to take and figure out we had to figure out how many ways can we buy Hershey's or Tootsie Rolls with $10. We had to find how many ways will it stretch out to be. And the Tootsie Rolls was $1 and the Hershey's was $2. And we came out, it was 6 ways. One of the ways, all 6 of the ways was 10 Tootsie Rolls, 5 Hershey's, 4 Tootsie Rolls and 3 Hershey's, 2 Hershey's and 6 Tootsie Rolls, 1 Hershey and 8 Tootsie Rolls, 4 Hershey's and 2 Tootsie Rolls. Then that, all of them was the 6 then was all the ways that we can take and buy Hershey's and Tootsie Rolls with $10. I got out of this whole problem that
you can use 6 ways to spend, and then that when you set the table up, step 2, it goes up by 1 on Hershey's on the table, and then on Tootsie Rolls, it goes counted down by 2 on the table, and then for step 3, you can't, I use bar graph for step 3, and for the 2 questions that I put is that, well, the 2 answers that I put for number 1, don't connect the dots because you can't put the by pieces on the of a candy bar. And question 2 is when you put it in the table on step 2 Hershey's, it goes up by 2C. It goes up in 2C, it goes down. So
Coven.
10 Tootsie Rolls and you have Hershey bars.
No Hershey bar, 10 Tootsie Rolls. 10 times 1 is 10, yeah? Isaac, what else?
1 Hershey and 8.
1 Hershey and 8 Tootsies? That'll work. Colin? 2 Hershey's and 6?
1 more.
1, 2, 3, what am I missing? 4 Hershey's.
And 6.
No, 2. Now, here, one of the truths, everybody get to the truth part?
Yeah.
Alright.
I got to it. We finished.
One of the truths, if we put this in order, let's clear this. 1, 2, 3, 0. I had none there, 10, 1, and
1, the Tootsie Rolls go down 2. That's how many
That would be a truth. As the Hershey's go up 1, the Tootsies go down. That would be a truth.
Wait a minute. We had it the other way around.
Or whatever. I don't remember which one's which, but as one of them went up 1, the other one went down 2.
And as the other one up 2, the other one went down 1.
Correct.
So either way you put it, it's right.
Well, I don't remember which one was $2.
Hershey.
The Hershey. So as the Hershey's went up 1, the Tootsies went down
1.
2. 10 to 8 is not 1.
What do you want to do with the?
Shocked that my honors kids were drawing pictures a lot instead of drawing their graphs. They were not putting points on a grid.
My honors kids wanted to be directed through it. But my regular ed kids tried to do it.
Just dove in.
Just dove right in. It was, can I do this? Can I do that? Can I just read it? Do what it says.
Yeah, how's for you?
And that I think was like what I expected it to be. I mean, the honors kids went a little bit faster, but they all kind of anticipated the questions they were going to ask, like what's a data table, before they could even ask. I was just like, I'm not telling you, figure it out. That kind of thing. The hardest part was the equation. They were just straight lost.
And we've been through, in this 8th grade, we've been through the data tables, and they were like, Ms. Hill, what's a data table? I was shocked they forgot that.
They couldn't grasp that I was asking them to make an equation for all of them together in one equation.
Yeah, I
they
did
could
have a few
not
groups. They
grasp
would get one
that.
that works for one, but they weren't.
It
they
wouldn't
weren't
work
doing
for all of them.
Yeah.
Or they would make one that made sense, like with the number of the chocolates.
Right.
And then the answer was 10. I'm like, that's money. They couldn't, that didn't mesh.
And once
with
you
each
went
other.
by and said, is 3 plus 4 equal to 10? It was like, oh, no, that's not right. Like,
They came up with creative things. It's just that a lot of it was wrong.
Did you
That
have
was
any
hard
of them
for me.
try to square their Hershey bar?
No.
I had 2 groups do that.
Instead of multiplying by 2.
Mm-hmm. They knew it was times 2,
But
but
they
I
put-
had 2 different groups try to put a square on their H instead.
Oh, no.
Now, they didn't do that today, but they have been doing that in the past on work.